Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi.
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And this week we will open up with Turbine, who updated the launcher so that we can have Turbine Point character transfers.
Yay. Again.
Again.
Because it actually used to be a thing.
It did, and I guess there was like this free transfer period, and according to some people, like it's hard to tell because the post that Turbine made is not the clearest because it was acting like now character transfers are in the client, which that's been the case for a while.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter they said that paid transfers are in. So is this the move that they made to make paid transfers be a thing again now? Or
Well, it's... basically they're letting you do your transfer paying it with Turbine Points instead of having to purchase tokens with real-world money. Which, that's the switch that they made a while back. Is used to be you could buy transfer tokens with Turbine Points back before the server merge thing happened, and then again before the server merge thing happened, they changed it to where you could not buy transfer tokens with Turbine Points. You could only buy them with real world money. So apparently, due to feedback, they've decided that they're going to let us either buy tokens, or I haven't actually looked at it, so possibly just pay for the transfer entirely with Turbine Points, except in the process they kind of broke it.
Yeah, they did. One thing I'm wanting to make sure real quick though, have the transfers that were with the tokens, have they been available the entire time that this has been going on with the free transfers and all that stuff?
Yes, because the free transfers actually ended a while back, but as part of the server mergers, they still offered everybody the 3 free server tokens, or transfer tokens, which I used 1 or 2 of mine.
Okay. And you can pay now, to answer your question, you can now pay directly with Turbine Points. There is no token anymore in the actual launcher if you pay with Turbine Points. You just pay for a transfer and it happens.
Right, so you say move to and it tells you how much it costs. In this case, $24.95 Turbine Points.
Per character.
Wow.
Per
I know,
character.
that's like the turbine
However,
equivalency of how much it was in real money.
Well, actually, depending on how you look at Turbine Points, you could view this as being cheaper since you get free Turbine Points already. Or you could...
if you've got like a balance of 15,000 turbine points like the screen cap here has. Oh, I'm sorry, 16,000 screen.
Or you could view it as more expensive since you have to pay a lot of money to get like an equivalent transfer rate of Turbine Points, and if you buy a small amount then you can't get that. So just depending on how you look at it, this could be a better deal or a worse deal. So,
Or if you're somebody who measures turbine point acquisition by hours grinded, then that's like years. No, I'm just kidding. Months.
But no, it is a decent amount of money, but that is kind of where it's been this whole time, so no real change there. But now you can do it with Turbine Points.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, whatever they did in order to do this, some looks like our free tokens sort of fell through the cracks.
Yeah, apparently players seem to be missing character transfer tokens, and Cordovan posted, "We are aware that players are missing their transfer tokens after today's update, and we are working on a solution. Please watch this thread for further information." So in other words, they know it's a problem, and
they know they broke it. They know they broke it. They're going to work on a fix.
Yep,
Stay
exactly.
tuned.
Oh, that's interesting. I noticed that the transfer wizard has at the bottom of it the number of turbine points you've got.
That's right, Pineleaf, and if you read my article earlier this week, you would have already known that.
It's cool though because it lets you know right up front, oh, you don't have enough money for that, or oh wow, if I do this, I'm spending all my turbine points to move from here to there.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is worth noting, by the way, that you can still transfer shared items like currency, marks, medallions, stuff like that, shared wardrobe, you can transfer that for free. I actually am still hoping that they can separate out the wardrobe from all the other shared stuff, because I would love to be able to just transfer my wardrobe all over the place.
Now, is it a copy or is it a straight up transfer?
It's a copy.
So you can
Which is-
copy your
So
shared
it stays on the original
all over
server?
the place.
Yeah. Well, and
Just
that's
the-
it's just the wardrobe copies. Everything else actually transfers. So like your marks and medallions and Mithra points
Oh,
and
I
whatnot
get it. Okay.
actually transfer, but the wardrobe is
You can
the
take all
wardrobe
your
is
shared stuff.
just a copy. So
You can take your shared stuff in your wardrobe and just copy it from server to server until all 5 of your servers, say in the U.S. market, have your wardrobe completely migrated across all the servers. But then all of your stuff gets lumped into one server, and you just camp out there.
yeah, basically.
Interesting.
But it can take up to 2 weeks for everything to process on the back end, so it's not generally recommended.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a detriment. 2
Well, the
weeks.
wardrobe will copy automatically. It's the rest
Uh-huh.
of the shared currency that takes a while to
Nice.
process.
Yeah, I
So-
decided to mail all my stuff to my new destination, but apparently it got lost in shipping.
So yeah, I
We're gonna
actually
be
really
eating, we're going to
want
be
them
eating
to
our
just
our
separate
travel
the
rations
wardrobe.
because that's all that came. How old are those? Like 4 years? It's okay. It's like cram.
All right. Then let's head into our store sales. And is there anything interesting for sale?
Actually, yes. Not so much the free sample. This week's free sample is a rejuvenation potion ×3. Use coupon code RP43 one time per account. Not sure why 43, but okay,
Because it's the 4th time they've offered the rejuvenation potion ×3.
maybe.
Hmm.
But 20% off shared storage, vault upgrades, inventory slots, currency cap, and shared wardrobe. Yay! All
This
good
is
stuff.
good. It's always awesome when that stuff
All
goes
good
on
stuff.
sale. Because I totally bought some more personal inventory slots today on my free-to-play account.
I have never actually bought. Well, I've bought inventory. I've never actually bought vault storage for turbine points.
No, I
That's-
always
that's
cap it
why
at
I have
120 and leave it.
Yeah, well, that's why I have so many alts. Because if I run out of vault space, it's time to make a new alt.
That makes a whole lot of sense. I need another mule.
That's why I have a character whose name is actually Storage.
The character's name is Storage.
The character's name is Storage. It's 2 R's, but yeah, it's Storage.
That's fantastic.
Okay. So the name had already been taken by someone else.
Storage.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'll name somebody Mule. Or Warehouse.
I think mule might be too short.
Mm-hmm. 4 letters, maybe. Maybe.
All right, then the Locho Players news this week is brought to us by the Hornkager Games, which is right now in full swing.
There you go.
And
Check it out.
Carv, there's totally an ad that you should read.
Well, where is it? I was looking for it. I can't find it. Send me a link and I'll
I
read
got it for you. I got it
the ad
for
I
you.
wrote. Is it another one? Is it a different one?
Well, it's the same document, but I'll share it again here. And while we're waiting on Carv for that, finally, let's go ahead and move along.
All right, we'll
Have you seen
begin
the
with
last
the
Yeah, I got
we'll
it.
begin with the community news for the September 9 through 15.
I know
and this, of
there's
course-
Hornkager games going on right now.
Wow, what a shock!
I have an ad to read for the Hornkager games.
Oh,
Okay,
what's
ready?
in this ad?
Okay. Hornkager, Hornkager, Hornkager! The Hornkager Games Committee, HGC, invites you to Hornkager 5. Ride, swim, run, drink, or sing your way to fortune and glory. Confirm thousands in turbine point prizes. Thousands of gold pieces up for the grabs to those who can outlast the competition. Plenty of other in-game goodies to give away as well. Keys, loot boxes, and more. Learn more at hornkagergames.simplesite.com. That's HARNKEGGER games.simplesite.com.
Not bad for a improv.
Now, of
Well,
course,
considering I wrote it and I left notes as to what voice it should have
Oh.
been.
now this, of course,
You should have
is
just said. You should have just said thank you. Babe.
Yes, Maven. I'm fantastic. Thank you. You're too kind.
yes. This is most useful, of course, for those who are in the live chat because the Hornkager Games will be ending tomorrow as we are recording this.
That's
Yeah.
right. So
Oh.
on Monday, too
On
bad.
Monday, the show comes out.
Wah,
Sorry,
wah.
it's over.
But you can watch the Harnkager games on the official LOTRO Steam and Twitch channel because they've actually been streaming all of it, which is fantastic.
And they are being posted on YouTube afterward.
Oh, cool. I was just going to say, and they're
Sweet.
posting them too, huh? Cool.
Now we will
cool.
get back to our community events. And is there anyone here who has anything they find particularly interesting in this week's community events?
Not this week, but coming up next weekend. So, sort of this week for people who are listening to the podcast on Monday. Darn it, I lost it. What's this weekend?
It's the
Well, the
10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah, so next week is there's a Rock Fest on Landreville next week.
Rockfest, that's what it was called. I've been to that. It's really cool. I probably won't make it next weekend because my weekends have been kind of crazy. But, yeah, it's an awesome event, and hopefully they'll end up streaming that too. Concert events on Landreville are frequently a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are.
And we also have another poll on, do you want another LOTRO expansion?
Yes, finally, we did ask everyone after the possibility of an expansion being announced recently on the Daddy's LOTRO Guides interview last week, and so I decided it'd be interesting to see if people actually want another expansion. And 78%, with 613 votes, said yes, they do want another expansion to LOTRO. 12% said maybe, and 10% with 81 votes said no, they don't want another expansion for LOTRO.
Why would you not want a new expansion?
Some people actually like the content release structure that's going on right now. Other people posted about how bad the last expansion was, and they don't want to have all the added bugs that come with an expansion. And so there are valid reasons, I think, and some people are VIP and don't want to have to pay for another expansion. So I think that there are definitely valid reasons, but that's the results of the poll.
I think it was really neat how I saw this poll everywhere LOTRO related. I mean, I saw it on Twitter. I saw it retweeted by a bunch of different people. I saw it on several different LOTRO Facebook groups. I mean, this poll was everywhere. Some very good coverage. A lot of people were like, check this out, check this out, check this out.
Yeah, aside from our if you think LOTRO is going to end poll, this was the next most popular poll that we've ever had. So yeah, people really, really seem to like it.
The LOTRO's going to end poll. Did we call that one the official Bitter Tears poll?
We should have.
Then let's head into the Critter's Journey, number 39, Food Fight. Wait, it took them 39 to have a food fight?
Well, hobbits.
I think we can just leave it there.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea. So let's head into our new player's question. Maven, what's your question for this week?
Very important question for this week. Good through the 15th. What is the best strategy scolding drunk hobbits at the farmer's fair?
Reading the Hobbit's quest.
No. I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
What?
There is that. But so here's an example. So here's where I thought of the question. I station myself at a particular group of hobbits, and I just wait it out.
Yeah.
Other people get on their horses and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Other people stand sort of in a central location and then just try to run when they find, because they're reading the not only what's over the head but also in the
say chat.
So yeah, so what's
Gotcha.
have you guys, what do you guys have? Because my best strategy is just to stay put and just wait. I
lurking.
usually do it with the dancers, the dancers that are at that one end. But there's a couple of places you can do that. What do you guys do? If you do this, I don't even know if you do
All right.
this.
I don't do the Hobbit one, but I would probably try to do a strategy similar to what I do with the elves in Lothlorien. And that is, I'm usually...
You fish slap them.
No, I stand near a group that's relatively centrally located, but look at a couple of other nearby groups at the same
Right.
time and see what text floats over their head.
Right. I mean, unless Lauren, it's a little easier because you're not vying with other.
Yeah, you're less
Players.
likely to be vying with other players,
Right.
so that strategy might not
and
work.
the thing is, with the Farmer's Fair, it isn't one click per player. I mean, if you get there in time, you can still do it even though somebody else has clicked. It's just once they've reset themselves, you can't do it. You know, once they've said, "Oh, I was drunk. I'm sorry," you know, then you really can't do it.
Yeah,
So you
and
have to
it's
get
a very,
there.
very short window. It's like a couple
Short
of
window,
seconds.
very short window. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that is one way to do it. I mean, if I'm doing the mayor, when I do the mayor, I usually go ahead and take that other the drunk quest too, because when I'm standing by the mayor, I can see 2 or 3 groups. But it is hard to get to them. You know, I've actually had better luck, aside from the fact that they're incredibly sober this year. I've had better luck just standing by the dancers and just waiting.
Yeah, for me, it just depends on how much running I'm feeling up to doing. Because I've tried it both ways. I've tried standing sort of centrally located near 2 or 3 groups, basically, and just
Right.
try and pay attention to that. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to run, and then I'll stand by a group that's got like 5 hobbits in it, and wait to see if any of them will finally get drunk.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, a lot
they're
of
so
sober
sober
hobbits this year.
A lot of sober hobbits this year, and I've seen people in like regional chat comment on it too. So I know it's not my imagination. I mean, what is the deal? What, somebody like, you know, like I said last week, it's a temperance movement in the Shire or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Anyway.
You click on them and they're like, I'm not drunk and I'm not gonna be drunk now.
That's right. That's right. They're like,
How
how rude.
rude.
They're like,
No, or
hey,
some
I'm
don't.
completely sober. There's nothing wrong with me at all.
All right. Well, anyway, so there are different ways of doing it. I was just curious. I tend to think the people on the horseback I think are the funniest because like they're just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I don't know that they're necessarily being any more.
Oh, people on
successful.
horseback are the most irritating because those are the ones that'll sit in the middle of a freaking group.
They will. Yeah, they
And that's
get in the way.
extremely
They'll actually-
irritating.
Yeah, they'll actually like you know, bar you from being able to get to the
Festival
NPC.
do's and don'ts. Please don't block other players from getting to the NPC. Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement by the Down with Bears lady.
Yeah. I know. Well, if I did it, I would probably be on a warden with a forced march on.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be a way to do it. Yeah, for sure. Or leafy feet if you're a hunter.
Or
And
a
that
leafy feet.
is the new player question of the week. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Maven out.
Then let's head into our weekend Lotro, and we're back to Maven again.
Maven back in. So, Aeritherd and I are doing this 2 dwarfs and a sad poo on Mondays, sporadically, on the Signum U channel. And I have my dwarf Marvelous, who's the sister of Reckless and Fabulous. She's a hunter. And Glumly is Aeritherd's very sad-looking grandpa with his sad Pooh Bear. We're not really doing. We are running around Erdluin right now, doing, you know, kind of going through the D list and stuff. But it kind of got my appetite whetted because I remember Carv and Aeritherd talked about this with your free-to-play players, how you were doing TP farming. So I started experimenting. I started experimenting with it this week. I mean, I created a disposable tune, and she's running around Erdluin right now. I forget where I left her, but anyway. So that was my big, big thing this week. Something new and different. Learning something new.
There you go.
That was me. Oh, who's next? Wait, where am I at? Yeah, I know. Should I say that?
What? I have burner characters all the time.
Do you? Oh, okay.
Huh.
Speaking of Carvette,
Hmm?
Corvette, what did you do this week? What stands out in your
Well,
mind?
I was running a burner champion through Erdluin. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
He was in the Shire, actually. No, but actually this week, I was playing my Lore Master in Red Line because I figured, what the heck, I'll try a different line because I've been playing blue most of the time. This Saber Cat, which gets a lot of hate, but I'm going to say right now, the Saber Cat with the Red Line cat pet buff, plus all of the other cool AoE stuff you can do, is really fun.
That's good to
Just
know.
saying.
I have not tried the Saber Cat.
Yeah, I was running through some of those instances in Moria where, like, you're running with dwarves and you're running against bugs, and there's like 3 or 4 or 5 mobs per pull. And somebody was like in the stream chat going, "Hey, switch to your Saber Cat." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll stay away. Why not?" Man, that was so much fun.
Really?
Because the saber cat
Okay.
would run up and hit all 4 or 5 of them, and then I'd just throw AOE hailfire on them and lightning bolts and
So
all
the
kind of
saber
fun
cat's claim
stuff.
to fame is AOE, huh?
Yep, AOE frost damage.
AOE frost damage. Okay.
That's what
cool.
it does. And so I was like, sweet. I was like, wow, that's killing stuff, and this is fun. Okay, cool. Not quite as good a tank as the bog lurker, but it can hit more often.
tank?
So
The
yeah.
Bargler was ranged.
Well, the bog lurker will grab one and then draw it to itself.
Oh.
But when you've got like 3 or 4, the sable cat will grab them faster and better because it can hit them all at once. The only downside is
Right.
once you start throwing out your big AOE's, they're like, "What? Kill the lore master!" You're like, "Ah!" But it was a lot of fun. I had a good time with that. So, Terry Adwin, how was your week in LOTRO?
Well, the group that I've been running in Volume 3 with Maven and Sanswinda, that's my other champion, and successfully champion tanked that Volume 3 quest instance with the Rangers up at Nars Peak, where you've gotten wind that the orcs are trying to attack up there, and you go with the Rangers to try and stop. So you get to the bridge with the troll on it, and the troll has crazy knockback. So I got knocked off that bridge 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, I lost count, and did not lose aggro once. I managed to maintain aggro on that stupid troll, despite the fact that half the time I
She
wasn't
did.
hitting the troll.
It was amazing.
I think I spent most of that fight running back up to the troll.
Running back off, and I was like right behind her and I'm the warden, right? So I figured when she went off the bridge, I'm like, okay, he's coming after me, but he didn't. He just kept throwing boulders down onto the stream, and I'm like, cool. And I just kept hitting him with my javelin. It was awesome.
that tank, the champ tank mechanic where they pull aggro as they get damaged. He's like, "I'm gonna hit you. I didn't do much. I'm angry. I'm gonna hit you again.
I'm gonna hate you even more.
Dang it! Something about you that makes me want to hit you harder."
Just awesome. So, Andang, what were you up to this week?
Well, this week, I finally finished recording my LOTRO Epic Story Volume 3 series.
Yay!
It took forever.
Partly because we had to do epic battles, which really
Yes,
sucked.
and thank you, Terry Adwin, for actually volunteering to put yourself
Notice
through
how
that.
that wasn't my highlight.
That was for. Oh, I see. I remember you said you were doing it. I didn't realize it was for his finishing.
Yeah,
up
it was for his
Awesome.
yeah. Notice how that wasn't my highlight though.
Well, epic battle.
But yeah,
But would
there's-
it have been if we were doing 3 tonight?
No.
Probably still not, right?
No, it definitely wouldn't have. But there are going to be 126 episodes in this series, making it the longest series I've
Wow.
ever recorded on my channel. So
Volume 3 is really long.
Volume 3
Yeah, it
takes
is.
longer than Helm's Deep, at least according to how my videos have been recorded.
Really?
So yeah. So lots of stuff there. I do want to mention real quick as well that Middle Earth Lore will be coming out on Monday.
Yay, Monday, be there.
The 4th episode, so highly recommend listening to that. And Bragg actually recently released his Drunk Miller Thor episode 3, his
I
parody
saw that it come out.
series.
I haven't listened to it. Has anybody listened to it?
I
haven't had a
have,
chance
so
to
I
yet.
recommend that everyone go and listen to that if you're interested. It was really good.
That's funny.
Yeah, highly
He's
recommend. So Pineleaf, what have you been up to?
Mine relates to the transfer screen where I was just playing around with it, even though I didn't actually transfer any characters. And I noticed while hovering over it that it actually lists the last time you logged into all of your characters on the server.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
I try
okay,
not to
that
look at that screen.
you try not to look at that screen. Yeah, so he's wondering, how do you know the last time you played each of your characters? Well, no, you just go to the transfer clicky and hover over each of the server names and then hover over a server name, then it lists all the characters on the server and the last time you logged into them.
That's awesome. I think it'd be kind of cool if they gave you like a little emoji that indicated how long ago it was you got into that character. Like some of your characters would have like this skeleton with cobwebs on it. Some of your characters would be like desperately waving to try to
So
get your attention.
guilty.
Like, please
So
help me, help
guilty.
me, help me,
Drowning! I'm drowning.
Now let's head into News Beyond LOTRO, where we have Cubicle 7's Adventure in Middle-earth Player's Guide is now available.
Yes, the PDF is available.
This is so cool. It's totally on my wish list this year for Christmas. Because I'm jonesing
totally
to get my
getting
hands
that.
on it. I'm like, I want this thing because this is like the player's guide, which sets the tone for all of the different playable cultures and the different classes that you can play, and it gives you kind of the backstory about how the rules work. And then the next guide, which is going to be the Lore Master's Guide, which is more like the Game Master edition, comes out, and it's got like quest hooks and different things you can do
Oh.
in this area.
Would
But,
the Lore Master Guide be how to handle pets and...
I think it has a different meaning in
No, I
this,
think
in this
in
context.
terms of Adventures in Middle Earth, the Lore Master is your Dungeon Master, Game Master. And personally, it makes sense because the idea of playing a druid reskinned as a Lore Master, aka Lotro, that sounds like a really fun idea. Instead of having pets, you turn into pets.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like a Lore Master / Beorning hybrid.
Well,
I'm like,
sort of like
that's
sort of like a D&D druid then?
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like a D&D druid that's reskinned as a Lord of the Rings Lore Master with like a bit of Beorning thrown in for the shape-shifting ability. It'd be kind of weird, but I think it'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on this one. From what I've seen, I've looked at the preview PDF. The artwork is fantastic. Everything you'd expect to see in a Lord of the Rings flavored book. And the different bits and pieces I've read look like they've really done a good job adapting a very high fantasy game like Dungeons and Dragons rule set into a more kind of low fantasy, mid fantasy type realm that Middle Earth is. So I'm looking forward to it.
And speaking of druids, Pineleaf actually did something with Draculetta this week that was a major highlight. Pineleaf, do you want to let the rest of the group know about this?
I
Want to share with the class?
I did something with Dracula. Oh, well, there was the 100th episode of DDO
Yay.
Players News. We had our
Nice.
100th episode plus the second anniversary of the DDO Players site.
Cool.
It's absolutely amazing. I cannot believe how fast time has gone. I mean, it feels like just the other day we started the Players Alliance Network, and already we've had the 100th episode of DDO Players News. Absolutely crazy. Congrats to Drac. He's doing an amazing job over there. If
Yep.
you're interested in any kind of Dungeons and Dragons related things, or tabletop, or just any type of like board game role playing, Draculetta's probably covering it, especially if it's
Yeah.
part of a Kickstarter, because he
Yeah.
covers like every single one. So if you're interested in any of that, I highly recommend heading over to ddoplayers.com.
We currently have 24 supporters on Patreon. And if you'd like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention of the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us here on LOTRO Players News. And this week we did not have any reviews or emails, but if you'd like to email us, you can send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com, and you can also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Anding @AndingLP, Carvet @CarvetLP, Maven @TokenMaven, Pineaf @Pineaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @TerryAdwin. The Players Alliance has 5 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On Thursdays at 8 p.m.-ish U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. Every other Saturday after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Saturday of each month at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.